Let's go to the Knicks. Jalen Brunson, 4 years, 105 million. Again, these numbers I feel like are so fluid in terms of what the exact number is going to be. Let's estimate 4 years, 105 million, because I think that's what Chris Haynes reported. And Chris has been on top of this from the jump with Jalen Brunson. Mitchell Robinson, 4 years, 60 million. Sure. Look, we talked a little bit about what the fit of Jalen Brunson is. I'm good with it because I think that at the end of the day, signing Jalen Brunson to be your number 2 or number 3 makes you more attractive when it comes to going out and acquiring the number 1 guy, right? And obviously there's just this long track record of family ties between the Brunson family and the Rose family. Great, cool. For me, like, that's why I know that people are going to complain about tampering with this, right? With like, oh, did the Knicks tamper? I don't really think it is. Like, when you have this pre-existing relationship between these two families that is so close, and like Rick Brunson has known Leon Rose for 30 years. Like, I don't see it that way, I guess, personally. And I'm sorry to Mavericks fans. Like, I know that sucks. And I know that it sucks that you just lost this, great player who helped lead you to the Western Conference Finals. And you have every right to be disappointed about that. But I don't know. Like, to me, this is such a unique situation, maybe is the way to put it, that it's just so rare. I know that the NBA is incestuous in terms of relationships and nepotistic in many ways, but this one's even more like weird to me in that regard. Where do you fall on the Brunson deal, though?
I think I am more forgiving in this case. One, the Knicks are always in conversation about these big free agents and stars and whatnot, and they always kind of get left at the altar. And being able to finally land a guy that you had zoned in on from day one, I think that's important. And also, like you said, just kind of building a team for the next guy to come in. I think the Knicks have one job, is to display competence over even just a mildly short period of time. It doesn't have to be like 5 years of competence. I think their market still has weight. I think their market still has power. They just got to display that they are a stable and good team. And it seemed like they were on that track prior to last year. They had, when they made the playoffs, and then Julius Randle had that great year. But it's not too late to right that ship. And it seems like they're definitely taking steps to try to do so. And with Brunson, he's a really good player. He's one of the better rim pressure guards in the league when it comes to driving. He's improving every single year as a shot maker. And so those type of guards are pricey. And you look at the starting point guard market 2 to 3 years ago. I was talking with some executives, and they were like, it was actually, we were discussing Terry Rozier's restricted free agency coming. Restricted free agents prior to before he got like his other deal. And they were like, starting point guards, like the going rate, like you just look at all of them, it's like $19 to $20 million. And that was like a few years ago, right? Obviously, right. Rozier signed a deal that was around like $18 million. I
believe he has 358, if I remember correctly. The first one with
just Charlotte, under that 20 million mark. And so now obviously the cap's gone up since that time, and guards have become increasingly more valuable, because once a team gets a good starting caliber guard, they do not let them go, right? And that's what Brunson is, and I'm okay paying for that kind of player. I'm less okay investing that kind of money in like a big or other one position players, but when you have a play creating guard who can score at all 3 levels, I'm okay with that.
So my one concern here with this deal, I mean, look, it's a big number. I think the number is probably slightly more than what he's worth. The TV deal is going to go up. It almost doesn't matter to me. Their books are clean enough to where I think you can make this work. You can finagle the books, right? Mitchell Robinson is not a floor spacer at all. He takes every shot at the basket. Julius Randle, not really a floor spacer, despite the 40% mark from 3 in 2021. Teams just don't really guard him out there. RJ Barrett, more of a guard who's trying to attack, get downhill to his left hand, get to the basket. Like, his success this past second half of the year was predicated upon driving to the rim, getting downhill, doing all of that stuff off of dribble handoffs, getting to his left hand, and just attacking. what you just said is that Jalen Brunson, and you're right, is one of the best rim pressuring guards in the league. It's a lot of rim pressure and not a ton of floor spacing. And I have a little bit of concern. Like if I was them, I'd be trying to move Julius Randle. And I don't frankly know that I love the Mitchell Robinson fit with RJ Barrett and Jalen Brunson. I love the idea of a Brunson Barrett combination in the backcourt. I don't love that combination in conjunction with the Knicks' current front court. And both of those guys, I think, are on movable deals. As much as everyone complains about Julius Randle's like contract and the fact that they extended him, that is an eminently movable contract, I think.
Yeah, I mean, there's been worse deals that have been moved.
Yeah.
You know, we've seen the Russell Westbrook contract get traded multiple times, potentially again too. I mean, different situation, different caliber player. I get it. I'm with you though. My caveat is they got to move Randle sooner rather than later, and start filling in those spots with other players shooting specifically. I like to see Quickly get more minutes. Like to see Grimes get more minutes. Toppin, maybe he can find himself as a floor spacer and become consistent from behind the arc. Like that can get very interesting to me. And if you do the right kind of construct there, the Mitchell Robinson lack of floor spacing gets less worrisome for me, because you can have the vertical rim roller, the high screen and roller, that kind of stuff. You can make a workable offense around that. But yes, I'm with you. Like Randle, I feel like you got to move on from him.